Okay, here we go. Happy Tuesday. I almost said Wednesday. My name is Kelly Couch. For those of you that don't know me or who are watching this recording, I am an independent promoter with the company Prove It. And today we are going to talk about attraction. So all the trainings that we're going to be doing through this 90 days leading into hacking better are going to be about attract, connect, and enroll and experience. So we want to sort of, last week we kind of introduced what those were. And now we want to sort of dig into some different topics about how to do those. But ultimately, those are the three categories that you're going to want to concentrate on to build your business. And then you want to find ways that fit you and find your own style and build, your own way of doing things. So why am I qualified to do this? I'm excited because, when Nick and I started, Nick and I have been around this conversation now for almost 4 years. And we sort of build it, just getting out and getting in front of people and talking to people. And today's topic is about social media tips, which I was super new to when we first started this, and we didn't do much of that. The only thing we really did when we went on social media was when we started 5 and 10 day experiences, we took pictures and we put them online, and we were like, Jenny is excited for more energy. She's trying a 5-day, and we tagged her. And that was literally the extent of our business. And it blew it up at that time. And we were like, holy cow, like, social media is super powerful, but we're realizing like there's so much more to it. And I was talking to Brian James about this at the end of last year, how I was super consistent. Like I started January a year ago or before that, really posting consistently and getting in my stories and that kind of stuff on Instagram, and how much of a difference like consistency makes. Like I think you go on, a lot of times we talk about consistency in our businesses, and social media is definitely one of those. Like when you first start posting, you're like, oh, nobody's responding, nobody's commenting, blah, 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 blah. No one's coming to me to beg for ketones. But it's because it's a process, just like a lot of the stuff in our businesses. Just because you make a post online doesn't mean that people are going to come flooding to you. So I want to walk through some tips today on social media. If you're just getting started, or if you've been in it a little while, maybe we all could benefit from a reminder on what we're doing online, and maybe some things we are doing that we might not want to be doing, or things that we aren't doing that we should be doing. So I think if you guys listened, like who listened to Shelly's training on Saturday and was like, holy cow, like I have been doing social media how long now? And I didn't even know you could search for places, or I never even thought of it. Like I was watching her thing like, this is awesome. And it was an immediate action step that you could put into play right now. Like that is attracting people locally on social media. It was awesome. And I'm going to start this because I left Kara and Jim's training on Sunday. So I want to see everyone smile. We're going to get in a state to learn today. So let's all smile. Let's shake our booty, right? Right? Kara taught us that. And I think that was awesome. Who already feels in a better mood? Like, did you feel that shift? So do that. When you sit down to do Prove It work, or you're out talking to somebody and you're like, this is not going to go well, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to practice. Like smile, shake your booty, and then walk in there with some confidence, okay? Because we got this. So I want you guys to drop a hand or whatever is on your first screen of emojis. Like don't take time thinking about it. But in the comments, if you want to improve on social media. Me, yes. I'm there. I'm in that list too. I would do it if I wasn't doing this training. But it's an incredible tool for us to use. And I think it's exciting that we can start to train on this, because we've always taught like go talk, just talk to more people, and now we have a tool that we can use to also be building alongside of what we're doing in person. But it can be intimidating. But as much as it's intimidating, it can also be learned, which is super exciting, but you have to commit to it. It takes time. And I think you'll hear me. I have my notes because I want to like blast through this, but it's consistency. There's no doubt about that. You have to build trust on social media, just like you would in person. So today, what I want to do is give you some practice tools that over time will get people coming to you. Like how that sounds amazing. I can remember when Nick and I first started posting on social media, and we were like, okay, we're going to go at this and try it. And then like we were with a different company before, and never, I don't think ever did anyone reach out and say, hey, can we talk about that product? No, that didn't happen. And so with ketones, when people started like, hey, what's this keto stuff you have going on? We were like, I might pass out. Like someone's actually coming to us. That's what we want. We want to be attracting people to us because it switches the dynamic of the conversation. It's the same thing when you're asking for coaching. It's the same thing when you ask for, if you can send someone the campfire video, like you're asking for their permission. It's the same way. If they come to you, now we're in a different ballpark. You know, you don't feel spammy. You don't feel like you're cold contacting, right? That would feel amazing to wake up to 10 messages a day, people who want ketones. Yes, I would love that. And so I think though it's a mindset thing, and you have to remember that consistency matters. Like I can feel a shift even in myself when I haven't been consistent on social media, because then when I'm reaching out, I'm like, oh man, it's been a week and I haven't posted, and now I'm like in here and it feels weird. So consistency over time matters. Okay. So I know for me, definitely in the beginning, who feels scared to post because you feel like it could be salesy? Like when you go online, you're like, I love my ketones, but XYZ. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want people to think I'm weird. I don't want people to, you name it. We've all gotten in here with that, right? I'm going to tell you how not to be salesy. Are you ready for this? Don't be salesy. Okay? You don't have to be salesy if you're not salesy. Like we get in our own head. Like I always say that, don't be weird and it won't be weird, right? But we psych ourselves out and we're like, hey, what do you know? Maybe you don't want to hear that. What are you doing? Like you're being weird. Don't be weird. It won't be weird, right? Talk to them like a normal human being. Same thing on social media, okay? So you are interesting. I feel like you guys kind of, myself included, we forget that we are interesting people. Like when you sit down and think about it, you're like, man, I got a lot going for me. Like there's a lot of things, I mean, and it might be funny and not like perfect interesting, but everything we have going on in our lives is interesting. So share who you are. That's going to be, you're going to see that theme coming back through my training. Put out there what you want to attract. So if you are looking for whatever, like go-getters, then show yourself out doing things. If you want people that are outdoorsy, show yourself when you go out on a hike with your kids. Like put out there what you want to get back, right? And don't, please, you guys, if I can say one thing that you take away from this, please do not post flyers online. I know they come through your pulse and they're beautiful and colorful, and you're like, that is so pretty. That will attract so much attention if I just put it on my social media. Please do not do it. Please do not. You and also like covering up the price on it and then posting it. I know that might make it feel better, but it's not that much better. I think we have to remember that we want people to be intrigued by us, right? And how ketones have changed us. And we miss that us factor in the middle. Same way we always put in that claim, like we can't make medical claims, but you know, if you research the diet and the diet helps with that, then ketones put you in the same state. Same way you'd insert that little thing in there every time, you want to insert you. You matter. What's important about you matters. And so no one goes, I promise you, no one goes online like, let me find that best sales flyer today and that's what I'm buying today. Like no one, they're just not doing it. So let's make that switch. Okay. In a way, it is almost more challenging. I think social media these days is more challenging than it used to be because there's so many direct salespeople, right? We know that. We see them everywhere, what people are doing and what company they're with and what product they're selling. But the good news is it's more accepted than ever, right? Like, did you see that switch? You see that positivity switch? We went negative, challenging, positive. It's more accepted, right? That's exciting. We get to share why we're the best, why prove it's the best, why ketones are the best. And I think if you guys think of it that way as an exciting way to like not prove yourself, but like let's share like why these stories rock, right? And so you know, I think you just have to think of it like you're networking at a coffee shop when you go on social media. Like I think we go on social media and we're like, oh, I could just sneak in a little whatever, but you would never go into a coffee shop like BOGO, there's BOGO, everyone. Like you would never do that. ever, I mean, Nick would probably, but no one else would ever go into anywhere and do that. And so don't do it online, you guys. It's the same situation. So people, the next thing I want to talk about is like, people will be attracted to your product if they trust, know, and want you, right? People buy into us. They don't buy into a product. I think everyone on here could agree that we were skeptical when we started this, probably, right? And so, you know, as much as Nick was loving it, I didn't buy into the product. I bought into Nick and his excitement and my need to change. So there was no thing like, believe me, he shoved that, try it. It happened in my own life and I didn't want it until I needed it and was ready and saw that it was changing other people's lives. That's the difference. I bought into the people, right? So I think sharing, what you have to do online then is share your other journeys, like whatever, like, for example, I might share my homeschooling journey. I might share my motherhood journey. I might share my, you know, journey about praying for my husband, like whatever that is for you. And then also be the person who drinks ketones and has energy. Does that make sense to everyone? Like, give me hands up if that makes sense. So it's not like I'm sharing my keto journey and I'm dripping in my life. I'm sharing my life and I'm dripping in my ketones. I'm also the girl whose energy rocks because I have ketones. And I have 3 little kids that would drain that energy, but I got it. It's here. Okay. So make that switch and you'll see we want to be digging deeper and creating that curiosity. So for example, like I follow moms who have a lot of kids. Like, I don't know why I do that. Maybe it's because they're all part, like a lot of them homeschool if they have a lot of kids. So maybe that's how I got into there. Or like, maybe I think if they can do it with 10, like I can handle 3. Like, I don't know what makes me feel good about that, but they're real. And I love to see their journeys and what they're doing. And they're, I don't know, like a lot of our mindset stuff matches up. So if they drop like a cool organizational kit on their thing after I've been following them all this time, or like an exercise brand that like makes them not have to wash their hair as much, like a sweatband or not sweatband, what do they call? I don't know. I'm like dating myself to the 80s, like a headband, you know, you'd buy it. You're like, yeah, give me it. Like, I need organization. You have 10 kids, you're organized. I need that. I have 3, like sign me up. I like you. Right. So for curiosity, an example, like if I'm potty training, it's just an example, we're done. AJ can go in the potty. But when we were, if I'm sharing that journey online and moms are following me along that messy journey, and then I have my cute pink drink sitting there next to the toilet, like totally saved my life and whatever, you know, this disaster bathroom experience, you know, all that stuff. So you see the difference, like who else? I'm trying to look on here, but whatever people are sharing their journeys along the way. And then you also have this drink that makes it awesome. Okay. So I don't want to belabor that. I think we've gotten that point. So I forget where I heard this. I think it was maybe on a Zoom we did on a different Rhino call, but it was awesome. And it stood out to me because people have said to me in the past that, you know, I'm a good storyteller. And I was like, oh, I like that. Like, that feels good. And then I heard someone say, like, in the next decade, the most successful people will be the best. Sorry, I got a call there. I don't know if it skipped on you guys. Will be the best storytellers. Because why? Like, that's cool, right? If you can learn to tell your own stories, tell stories. Who doesn't like to talk about what's going on in their life? But then the most successful people will be the people who can share that. And now you have a vehicle to do it all the time online. You just have to put some work into it. People crave connection. People crave community. People crave depth. Right? They want to know about you. They want to be a part of something. And you can create this for them. You can give them that gift. You can give them yourself online. Like how Shelly said, the one thing I love that Shelly said, I loved a million things, but people are drawn to action takers, right? So when I look at people online and I follow a bunch of people, like when I'm people that I'm looking at their stories, I like people's stories because they're more raw and real, right? And the people that I love to watch their stories are people who are out doing things and sharing about what they're doing. And it's funny, like if you want to watch someone, would you rather watch someone who's just sharing surface stuff, or like quotes are cool, but like if that's all that used to be all I shared. That's why I'm using that example. Like when I looked back at my social media, it was literally all pictures of like Martin Luther King, I don't know who else, like Grant Cardone, and it was all just those, right? And then I reached out for help. We met this couple, and the wife had 50,000 followers, and I'm like, can you just glance at it and be like, see what I'm doing wrong? She's like, there are no pictures of you. What is your social media? There's none of you on it. And I was like, Good point. Okay, that was good. I'm glad I asked her that. So get out and take action and show it, you guys. People want to see that. They want to see. And I think like, sorry, I got off track there. So I said storytelling and social media can be learned. My old posts and lives, like I wish, Nick, I always say to Nick, I wish we had like a video of ourselves when through this journey. Like our old posts were so funny. Like we laugh so hard now, and people see what I'm doing now even, and I don't feel like I've mastered it by any means, but people see what I'm doing now and they're like, I could never do that. Not even a day, not even a month. Like I couldn't do it. But I think, you know, Nick and I got into this conversation the other day because my nephew, I saw him at cheer and he was like, hey, Kelly, how are you on YouTube? And I was like, that's so funny. Like from his perspective, I'm famous because I'm on this YouTube, right? Because I made my own channel and I just did it. But how did it start, right? Like I saw other people making really awesome pictures. And I was like, man, mine aren't even near that bright. They're not even that great at all. How do I do it? So I asked him. And then I learned how to brighten a picture. And then I learned, just like, sorry about that, life, right? So, and then I learned how to brighten a picture. I literally reached out like, how do you get your pictures so bright? And they were like, here's an app where you can do that. And here's this and use this and use this. And I was like, oh, cool, that looks awesome. And then I learned how to add words to it. And then I learned how to follow for someone through the minefield in this. If you're going through a minefield, follow someone who's been there. I started seeing their wording and how they were sharing and what to do. So it's all a process. Like I didn't go day one, not posting on social media ever, to day two, making a YouTube video. Like that's not how it goes. You just have to start. You have to start and you have to ask for help and just say like, what are you doing? Like if you see something you like, what are you doing? People want to help you guys. You can do this. So consistency and action equals improvement. You have to be consistent. You have to start, and that's how you're going to get better. So ask questions. You on social media, what do you want the most? I have like more and more notes. I'm going to try to power through this. Like, do I have your permission to go like 2 minutes over if I need to? Yes. Okay. So on social media, you want people to feel like they know you. Who follows people that you have never met in person, but you feel like you know a lot about them? Like I have reached out to people and made comments on their posts, and I'm like, that was kind of weird because I don't even know them, but like I feel like you do because I've been following them for a really long time. Like I know their journey. That's okay. And then I like get in my head, right? Because like I have even this is like a good example of this girl that I follow on Facebook. She probably knows my name because we like go back and forth, but she had a baby and I was like reading her baby story and like I got teary-eyed and I'm like, I don't even know this girl. Like, why am I crying? Like this is funny. I know her on social media. But they're good. If they make you have those emotions, if you know them, they're good. They have you hooked, right? If you're following their journey and you love them and you feel like you know them online, if they came out and said, I have a magical drink that makes me feel incredible, would you hesitate to buy it? No. You'd be like, I love this girl. If it works for her, sign me up, right? The connection is through the vulnerability. The connection is through them being themselves and helping you know them. So it might take months. It might take a year. Plant seeds, drop crumbs, get yourself out there. Start slow if you need to, but just get started. Have you ever guys heard that thing? I think it's Gary Vee. He says like jab, 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 right hook, right? So you're like on social media and you're like, I'm here. Here's part of me. I'm opening up. I have a 10-day experience available if you want to try ketones, right? You see jab, 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 right hook. Or you're like, for me, mom life, faith, how my life is a hot mess, kind of, ketones, right? Try a reboot. Like you see, you're doing more of the other stuff, and then you're like, oh, also I drink this drink that makes me feel incredible. Okay. So if you don't feel like you're connecting to people or like people are reaching out to you, give more of yourself in that online content. Building or providing value, building trust. Okay. It's easy. I know it's easy to get excited about ketones and that's all you want to share, but we got to switch that up. So I have a self-evaluation I want you guys to do. Ask yourself in every post, you got a pen, you're going to have to go back and write this down. With every post, ask, am I being authentic? Am I being genuine? And am I being unapologetic? Right? So I think it goes back to that. If you're sitting on the fence, like I don't like to follow people who I never know where they stand on issues. I don't know why. Like I just like to know where people stand before I'm like going to dig in on this connection. So be unapologetically yourself. Like social media is built for that. And I think the greatest gift you have to give is you. You're you and no one else is you. So bring it to social media, okay? And does my post 4 categories? Does it inspire? Does it entertain? Does it give value? Or does it build trust, right? You want to make sure it falls into those categories. So if you're following these guidelines, then you can feel good that you have a solid post online. And like I said, when you love someone, it's never because they play it safe. It's never. When I follow someone, like, they're crazy. And I love that about them. And I always, like, you never leave talking about the boring person. Like, you don't even know. You leave talking about the person that brought it all, left it all on the field, and, like, left you feeling like, whew, right? Like on fire. So what are 3 lists? We're going to talk about this in our call to action. I want you to make 3 lists. I'm going to go back over this at the end. A me list, a dream list, and a ketone list. So for the me list, I want you to sit and brain dump, like, as much information as you can about you that makes you you. So all of it, not just like, I'm a mom and I love my kids. Like, okay, we could see that, right? But like, I love making a murderer. I never wash my hair. I love dogs, but I'm not ready to have one. Like, what is it about you that makes you you? Okay, so I want you to dump all of that on a piece of paper. And then I want you to make a list of your dreams. So like, cast your vision here. And that's what you're going to be doing. I'm like out of breath because I'm so excited right now. I don't know why. I can't calm it down. Okay. So I just felt myself take a really deep breath. So I thought I'd go there. What makes you excited? What are your aspirations? When people are attracted to where you want to go, you inspire them to be more. So it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I want this like car, or I want this. Like, where are you going? When you sit down and you're like, I'm going to do this today, why are you doing it? Where are we going? So the last list is ketones. And this is a key, you guys, because you're only going to get to do it once out of all these different posts, right? Build your ketone story. This is gold, you guys. There's 3 parts. Before ketones, what life is like now, and what are you most excited about in the future? And we are going to share your stories. You know, we talked about this, Share Sundays. We're going to start sharing these stories. So I want you guys to sit down and build this. Go through those 3 categories. One, once you create a story, you can break it into 1,000 posts as you continue to expand your network. Like Shelly said, right? She taught us that really easy trick to keep expanding our network and bringing people in. You have to continue to share your story. And I think this is something I've realize that other people do, and I don't do it as much, because you always think like, oh, my same friends, they've heard my story, but you never know what people are seeing online, and you never know what people looked at or what they've heard. So share your story. Find ways to share little bitty parts all the time, you know, in your stories, different ways. Like, how can we write up? If you need help with that, reach out. That's something I've been working on for a while now. So I think we forget that it takes people a lot of touches or a lot of exposures to get used to the idea of something. And that was what was so amazing when Nick and I just started putting 5-day, 5-day, 5-day. Jenny wants a 5-day. Mike wants a 5-day. Tony wants a 5-day. You know, it's all online. People are like, oh, like after 15 people, they're like, all right, what is this stuff? I need to see it. And with online, people are seeing so much stuff. They say it takes an average of 16 touches for someone to be comfortable with something. So if you've told your story twice, not quite enough. They might not have even seen it, right? So we want to make sure people are getting the exposures about us with ketones, right? The foundation is that you want to get a broad foundation. That's how great, strong buildings are built, right? Your foundation are the touches of your story intertwined with all the other stuff. If you can do that, build all this stuff about you, your beautiful ketone story intertwine, you will be an attraction machine, you guys. Who does not? I want to be that. I want to be an attraction machine, but it takes time. It takes time. Get started, and then say, like, if you want to reach out to me and be like, hey, you know, what are some tips? How can I adjust this? Like, don't delete it all. Don't delete all your past stuff. That's still good too, but let's go. Let's move forward. You'll be surprised about how much people love to learn about you. You'll be surprised. I promise. When you start attracting people just like you, then you know you're starting to get it down. So like, I have a lot of people that'll reach out about whatever I've posted, and it's like you're building this awesome community of people like you, and then you're like, man, I must be putting out some really good stuff about myself, because the people that like that stuff are starting to come to me, right? Even the things you don't think people care about. Believe me, like, I think some of my most engagement posts have been like, didn't wash my hair in 4 days. Like, who cares? But what dry shampoo to use? Girl, me too. You know, I was like, what? I got really good posts, and this is the one, you know. But then they're gonna see all the other stuff. Whatever attracts them is cool, because then they're gonna see all the other stuff and my magic drink mixed in there, right? So to recap, we want to remove selling from our mind, and we want to bring in sharing, right? Okay, so what's our call to action? I know I'm a little bit over time. Bring the value, bring you. That's what's important about attracting. You want to put out what you want to get back. So I want you to build your 3 lists and like really sit and do this. Take some time when you have time out to really sit and do this, knowing what makes you you and making sure it falls into what we talked about is huge. So make those lists, find 3 to 4, your next call to action, find 3 to 4 social media accounts that you follow that you love. And I want you to, not even promoters, like not even, it could be some provers, but like not even provers, like anybody on social media that you love. And I want you to give them a little evaluation, like what makes you want to go back to their page? Why do you follow them all the time? Why do you love when their content pops up on your phone? Write these down and then anchor into how you can use that in your own account, because they're obviously doing something to draw those people. And I want you to anchor that and start to use it in your own social media and apply it consistently. Like every time, do these evaluations that I gave you today, and you'll be surprised in a year, like people are like, man, Sharon, how did you change your social media? And you're like, one picture at a time, literally one post at a time. And it was a disaster, but if you keep doing it, those bad ones, they filter down to the bottom and no one even scrolls down that far. So it's okay. So I want you to start now. That's your call to action. Make those lists, start your posts, reach out if I can help in any way. And then tonight, don't forget, is our first 10-10 call. So at 8:15 tonight, we're going to be starting to do twice a week. 10 minutes product, 10 minutes opportunity. So you can get anyone on who's interested in the product. They can stay on in the beginning. And then if they're interested in what this opportunity offers, we're going to go into 10 minutes of that also. And then at 9:15, the ketone clarity call. You can look for information on that in your Pulse app. And don't forget, I wore my shirt to remind me that tomorrow is the last day the reboots are available for the August 18th, start date. So get out there, let's rock social media and attract some people. And I'm excited to talk more with you guys about how that's going. Have a good day.